Greetings, dear ones. This is Reverend Ruth on Story Bar with Angel Healing Ministries. And I want to say hello and greetings to one and all. Just want to talk about Valentine's Day and my message that I have, which is love never dies. So, my friends, so let's see we always start with our mission statement. And our mission is to guide you on your path to find God while we support you with love and light and show you how important truth and faith are on your path back to God. And show you how important truth and faith are on your path back to God. Greetings once again, everyone. This is Reverend Ruth on Story Bar with Angel Healing Ministries. And yes, I want to we talk about faith, how that's important, how that motivates us. And let's talk about the one thing that doesn't change in the world, and that's love. It's a love. It's called a love that never dies. And there are lots of them out there. And every kind, love can die sometimes, but it doesn't. No, it's not really gone, my friends. The kind of love I'm speaking of is the love for a friend, because we know last Valentine's Day, I talked about all the different types of love that are out there. I know at some point I mentioned that. And each of them never, love never dies. I know you might say that for relationship love, but it doesn't always happen that way. Love never dies. It goes on forever no matter what. No matter where you are, where you are, what happens in life. Love never dies. It goes on forever, especially God's love, which is an important love that we all share, that we all receive, because God loves all of us, every single one of us, as no matter what we do or what we go through, God continues to love us, support us, forgives us, and that love is very unconditional. And it's a feeling to have that kind of love. And when your heart is full of joy and love, it really just makes a big difference in your world. If you can live through life with joy and love, it's just amazing, because we're beings that are meant to love. We're not meant to keep our emotions in. Although there are a couple of us that have the tendency to do that. I mean, I can say that I do that every once in a while myself, because sometimes it's hard for one person to love again, or hard for anyone to love again. I mean, maybe you were in a relationship that was really hurtful and you found it hard to pick up yourself again and love again. But God, love never gives up on you. God never gives up on their children. They always make sure that they're always there for you. And and sometimes love can linger in life. I mean, we have numerous friends that we maybe we had that one specific relationship where everything was just so perfection, and that we're still friends with that person, but they're not understanding exactly why, they don't know the difference between which way to go, what direction, or maybe they're used to a life where they were treated in a different way, in a way that they can't a way that, maybe they were treated badly, these people, and that's what they're used to, because that happens too. I mean, you can love someone so much, and no matter what they do to you, you continue to love them until you realize, wait a second, I deserve more than this. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be taken care of. I deserve to be treated in a more loving manner. And we do have the tendency, to continue to love someone, and you can love that person from afar, no matter what. Even ex-husbands, ex-wives, you can still love them from afar, even though you don't talk to them or speak with them, because, like I said, love never dies. We are beings that were raised to love, that were taught to love, and it's a natural thing for us to love others, love one another. They talk about it in the Bible that it's one of the biggest things is to love one another. Is what God always wanted us to do, was to love one another. And it can be difficult sometimes, especially when someone is doing not so good things to others, and it's hard to love them for that. But they always say, instead of throwing any kind of anger at them, any kind of anger energy or negative energy, it's better just to love them because they change. I can tell you a story of a speaker, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there was a speaker I knew many, many years ago, and a lot, he was a vegetarian, and he still is, I'm sure of it, and he came across very, sometimes he would come across very rough, very tough, and a lot of people said he was very what's the word? Um, I guess the word is arrogant, or he wasn't so friendly or something like that. And when I went to one of his lectures, the first time I met him many years ago when I was 20 years old. I was doing an interview for the college newspaper, and at first we didn't get along. Back then I didn't know. I mean, we talked, but it seemed like he really didn't want me there to be there. So I did my best to send energy, good energy his way, but he did talk to me, but he wasn't exactly talkative. He really wasn't exactly either he'd been around a while, and he just wasn't ready for this type of thing. But he actually, when I was a vegetarian so many years ago, and I wound up in the hospital because I wasn't eating the right foods, his book actually saved my life, and I still carry a copy of that book that he wrote, and it really changed my life. I mean, I'm not a vegetarian now because every now I want to go back to being that, but sometimes we need certain proteins in our lives, and we can't get that all from like stuff. We need other things besides. But I know I was very healthy around that time, and when I finally learned how to use the right foods, it helped. So I met him briefly when I was 20, and I interviewed him, brought that back to the newspaper, the college newspaper, and they took the story and they put it on. And then years later, I was asked to do another interview with him for another rap magazine. I think it was I believe it was Nightingale News. So I mean, I'm hearing all these, I'm hearing people that are not thrilled about him and stuff like that. But I said I also was now older. I was now in my my 40s, I guess. I know it was before I got married and moved to Arizona. And I went to the lecture again, and he was, going through a stressful time, and I could see it. And if I was going to talk with him again, I knew I needed to do one thing, and that was send love to him, a love energy. And when I did that, when I was, when I was focusing on him and sending the energy his way, he became more kinder, more nicer. He was more talkative. He actually, we actually had a nice long conversation for about a half an hour, 45 minutes, and it went really well. And I remembered, maybe when I met him when I was 20 years old, maybe he was just under stress. At that point, I really didn't know. I wasn't that far along in my spiritual work. But when I realized, when I sent him just general love, unconditional, he responded to that in a more different way. And again, he did save my life so many years ago. And I'll just say his first name. Gary was a great author and a kind man when I met him. And as I got to know him when I got older, we found that we were on the same wavelength. I found out when you use love instead of vinegar, or if you want to say you get more bees with honey than vinegar, when you do that love, when you send love energy to anybody, anyone going through a tough time, or anybody having a bad day, or even someone who is not so positive half the time, you send that love energy their way and they change completely. It's just this incredible energy that the universe, it's completely unconditional, that love. And the unconditional love, it's all over the universe. All you have to do, my friends, is connect to that love energy and use that love energy in your life to send to those people that are upset, who are going through stress. And it really, really changes the focus. It changes the personality. Love is this incredible energy that is out there for the taking. It's just a matter of how you take that love into you and you share it with other people. When you send more love in the direction of someone who is not so friendly, they change their perspective completely. You get a totally different person. And any spiritual mentor will tell you this. And even the Holy Bible tells you that when you send love to another, the love comes back to you. It goes again with that golden rule. Do unto others what you want others to do unto you. And when you do that, it makes a difference in their lives, in your life, and in the people's life. You're going to attract more loving people in your life when you put out that love energy. And a lot of people that have that challenge, there's a crystal called rose quartz and a crystal called malachite. And if you own any kind of jewelry like that and you wear that jewelry on your person, it puts out that love. I know when I needed that love, I had a rose quartz necklace that I wore a lot, and it attracted that love back to me. And it put out that same love to the community because that energy from that rose quartz was unconditional. That same energy from the rose quartz is the same energy that God put into that. Because God created the crystals as well as the gems. And when God creates things, there's always a piece of God that goes into those creations, into the animals, into the trees, into the waters, into the grass, into the mountains, into the deserts, into the tundras, the savannas, and so forth, the mountains and the woods. And that love, when God puts that love into all that, that's why we all have a deep center of love. Because when God created you, my friends, God created it with that same love, that same unconditional love. It was just a matter if we, you or me, we could access that love and share that love with others. And to get in touch with that love, my friends, you would meditate on it, pray, and let the universe know, I'm here. Share with me your love, universe. Share with me that love that will make me feel empowered, that will make others feel safe around me, knowing that they don't hurt. You see, Native Americans talk about how when you send positive energy or positive vibes to the animals of the nature of the world of nature, they feel that same love coming from you. So what they don't feel alarmed when you're near them. That's why it's so easy to get near creatures, wild animals in the wilderness. Because when we do that and we don't put any fear, and I don't recommend doing this at home, but I would, I would, you can do that. I wouldn't like walk out into the wilderness and just do that. I mean, go out there with a guide, but if you want to continue saying that love, you'd be surprised how much that love will flow. But I would not recommend just going out there and hugging a lion or a tiger. I would not recommend that at all. But you can send them love. Because one thing, when you send out love to any animal, any creature, even my spiritual dad Bert told me a story about a beehive that he found one day. And he had so much love that he stuck his finger in the middle of the beehive and not one sting on it because they didn't feel threatened. And this is what I taught. And now, Bert's no longer with us. God rest his soul. I know he's in a better place, and I always think of him every day, especially around Valentine's Day and his birthday and everything like that. My love for my spiritual dad will remain and will continue. It will continue on, just like the song from Titanic. Our love goes on, no matter where we are, where we go to. And I found out too that when I don't show fear but love to a wild animal, they feel more safe around me. Not that I'm going to walk up to a coyote and pet it or a fox. Although I remember a time when I was up in the South Shore Nature Reserve, and it was Thanksgiving, and I was with my family, my aunt, my uncle, my cousins, and my mom and my grandmother and stuff, and my brother and my dad. This was long before my father passed away, and I was up there with them, and my uncle, my aunt's family, and I went out to feed the deer, and I was out there feeding the deer, and they came to where I was. They didn't wait till I went in. They were all around me. And then all of a sudden there was this little fox running around my feet, eating, sneaking up whatever food he could get. And because of the love that I was sending to those animals, they weren't afraid of me. I was able to get close to a fox and a bunch of deer. Now, deer are a little bit easier to approach than a fox, but it's just this little fox running around my feet. It was just so adorable. And they were watching from inside. They were like, wow, she's brave. Even the buck was very, the buck that was there, was it a 5-pointer? Was friendly to me because I showed no fear. I only sent unconditional love to them. I sent that love energy out to them. So they knew they were safe around me. So I was able to get close to a buck. The fox was a 50-50 shot. But even though, even though I thought not to go near it, it would follow me and it would just stay with me. So you see, when you use that love energy in the universe, the unconditional love, and you send it out there, it works with animals, it works with people, it works with your new job. When you walk in there with that feeling of love, that aura of love around you, my friends, you'll draw nothing but that back to you. So, my friends, so I want to wish you all a happy Valentine's Day. And wherever you are, whoever you're spending it with, family, significant other, enjoy, savor, enjoy that Valentine's Day. Make it that special day for you and your significant other and your friends, my friends. Enjoy it. And remember, every day in the universe, my friends, pull in that love energy. Make that a part of you. And wherever you are, wherever you go, share that. Put that energy out. And you'll be surprised on all the love that you will get back from the others. Thanks. We love you. Namaste. And this is Reverend Ruth on Star Bar with Angel Healing Ministries. And if you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe. We love you. Namaste. And have a beautiful day and night. And we'll talk to you real soon. And once again, this is Reverend Ruth on Star Bar with Angel Healing Ministries. We love you. Namaste. Thanks. And happy Valentine's Day once again.